What's going on, gamers? We got some news here on two different perspectives. One, Sony getting a Netflix-style PlayStation Store interface, as we knew the dashboard was getting some stuff. And then two, Microsoft having fears of the GTA 6 launch delaying Fable possibly in, till next year or maybe in December. I'm thinking most likely next year. So, yeah, interesting stuff here to talk about. Starting off with this Netflix style makeover, there seems to be some mixed opinions in the comment section, but I think in general, the PlayStation Store definitely needs more of an update. And I think with this going into that, we may see this carry over into PS6, or PS6 will probably have something completely new because Sony usually does stuff like that. So Hunter posted Sony reportedly testing a new PlayStation Store interface. It's similar to Netflix with large game tiles, trailers that autoplay, and category tags like open world and cinematic. So right off the bat, you're thinking about this, you're like, okay, that would be cool for something like more professional. Definitely if you want to highlight like specific games or want to see something for your game, you scroll past it. But I think what they should do is like when we go to the screenshot, if there's like an option up here, you should be able to toggle on and off autoplay if you want, but you'll be able to see something like this if you're scrolling past it. Obviously, the Netflix interface is where it's at because everybody kind of loves it in a way, but then you're going to have also somebody always on the other side that's just going to say something negative about that because that's just a duality of the human nature. Now, looking at recently released, we kind of get an idea here when we look at Starfield, right? It says PS5, the price underneath it, space exploration, open world, RPG, story rich, and cinematic. Now, I like that because that gives people a lot of details plus an image with all the details. And then right below it is the price tag. And then explore a vast universe in Starfield, Bethesda's epic RPG as you seek humanity's greatest mysteries among the stars. You have everything right in front of you in like a format instead of having to click on it, scroll down and go down and look at this and look at that and do all that. You know what I mean? You know how it is right now. I think with this, it's a lot more professional and it's a lot more organized, and Sony should definitely go with this. Apparently it's in some beta right now and it may be officially released down the line, or who knows, around the corner maybe. I want you guys to let me know what you think about this, because I think this is definitely better than what they have. Sometimes, like when you take a look at the Steam setup, you take a look at the PlayStation, Sony has something similar, but then Steam's is, I would say, definitely, pretty meta. Xbox's was kind of outdated for the longest. They're finally making things better. But I don't know, with the current state that PlayStation has its store in, I think a makeover could definitely be welcome. This guy right here, Alex, says, that sounds awful. Netflix is the worst for navigating, and autoplay trailers are so annoying. This is where I feel like you should give players an option to autoplay turn off, but you don't want the current model of the store. It needs to be overhauled. PS5's current interface is one of the cleanest around. It is in ways, but they could still make it better. What a silly move from PlayStation. Hopefully they change their mind and leave it as is. And then we have somebody on the opposite spectrum coming down with a little bit more likes. I think we need a refresh. This looks nice. Obviously, no matter what in this industry, when you're updating the store, you have to keep going forward with new updates, new firmware updates, new software updates. No matter what, you have to keep updating things and try to find it in a position to where everybody likes it mostly. Obviously, some people are always going to be saying something negative because they like that feeling. Like you can see people that still liked what Microsoft had for the 360 era that never came back, and they never liked anything better since, right? But you have to keep moving forward. Brobe says streaming services, UIs, and gaming in the same space do not mix. I remember back in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, they had the Hulu nonsense with their menus, and it ended up being one of the most frowned upon things in Modern Warfare 2. Universally disliked. Menus still aren't the best now, but better than before. The current PS5 store is a mess. It's ultra slow, there's no add-on section, and the search function is lacking. Then there's the wish list that glitches when you add too many items. Oh, we can't forget how the page now resets to the top of the page if you dare click anything. Looking forward to searching for the disable video autoplay option. That's why I said, if they're going to do that, they better have that. I think that's going to definitely help out. Jason says, Netflix and Hulu influence is insane. Looks like crap. Just want to know the name of the game and price. If I want to know more, I'll click on it then. Well, that's the thing. Some people like that. Some people may like that it's everything out in the open like that. And this is what I mean by like you're going to get like a mixed aspect of this. But I think for the most part, if Sony does it right and they give you the option to turn off autoplay, things are going to be fine. And I don't think anybody's going to have a problem if autoplay is going to be off. So you'll see that. Then if you go all the way down here, there's a lot of positive affirmation. Getting it ready for PC. You lost me at Netflix style. I hate autoplay. It is the worst. Looks like crap. Getting ready for the bigger play. And then if we scroll down, fire, too big. That's cool. Looks clean. Wants to be Steam so bad. I hope it works good. Looks amazing. So we get a mixed bag in the comment sections right here on Hunter's posts, but worldwide things could be possibly different. Now, going over to what Jeff Grubb was practically saying, it gets a little bit interesting. So, according to what Jeff Grubb is saying, guys, getting to Fable now, he thinks that it's being pushed back internally, and the reason for this is very easy. Microsoft is fearing the GTA 6 launch. Let's look at this real quick and play it.
And then there's Fable. I'll say that I've heard that Fable has been pushed internally. That doesn't mean that it's coming out next year. Apparently, they're still trying to get it out this year, but they are worried about the launch of Grand Theft Auto 6. And so if it's getting delayed beyond the release of Grand Theft Auto 6, that could push it into December, which might make it a prime candidate to get delayed into 2027. So while Xbox will have a lot of games coming out this year, that's one that there's still a big question mark around. And then there's...
So that's what he just said. And that's the thing. I think Fable is a monumental game that they pushed early in the year to get you excited for. So if they do that, that's kind of going to be on them. Because it was supposed to be like Forza and Fable, and you knew the Halo campaign was coming out, but I don't care about that because you don't have multiplayer. So that kind of makes it seem irrelevant to me, though hopefully the PlayStation base enjoys that, but it's like it's campaign. We've already played it hundreds of times. So outside of that, you're going to need Gears, and you're going to need State of Decay 3, which can be huge because it's just one of those games. But delaying Fable is definitely going to suck if that's the case, because they're scared of GTA 6, which you shouldn't be. Should be more confident. But I mean, I guess what's going to happen, because you're going to run into the PC version too. So that's what Jeff Grubb says. I'll say that I've heard that Fable has been pushed internally. That doesn't mean it's coming out next year. Apparently, they're still trying to get it out this year. December, I don't know. If people are hooked on GTA, they might ignore it. But if you get it out before, it just depends. Who knows how things are going to change for that. Coming down here in the comments, Synth Potato says, I hope it comes out September to October. If they can double down and get it out by September, it can get what it kind of needs on all the consoles. But always getting a fear of GTA is definitely a lack of confidence. If you're confident in what you're going to do, you shouldn't so much worry about it. Unless you were trying to launch it close to it, then I can understand that, because it would get overshadowed. But if you gave it a month or a month and a half before it, I think you'll be fine. No matter what, GTA is going to keep on top of the charts, though. Even if you launch it after it in the month that it's going to launch, I don't know. We'll see. Idlesoft says that would be a perfect time to come out. It needs to come out at least a month before GTA or 2027. Yeah. Imagine it's 2026 and people still believe Grubb doesn't just make up stuff. I don't know. He's been pretty reliable on a lot of things from posts that I've read from him. I don't think he's just saying that just to say it. I think he really does have that inside intel. Why would you make that up to get in bad rep with him? I don't think he's going to do that. Coming down here, he says, hey, Jeff Grubb. So yeah, it's kind of silly that Microsoft Gaming is worried about GTA 6. This is a $1 trillion company we're talking about here. I mean, what are they really worried about GTA outselling Fable? In history, has there ever been a situation? Interesting stuff like that. I don't think he's really getting the point. I think a lot of people are worried about GTA 6 launch. What is he talking about? Dude, Fable can't fail. They need it to be strong as a publishing, selling title on PlayStation. If GTA comes out and takes all the feed and Fable gets left in the back, you know how long it's been since they launched that? It's kind of something they do kind of worry about. $1 trillion company has nothing to do with video game talent and development, productivity, and quality. As that's shown, they couldn't win anything being a $1 trillion company. Of course, you're still worried if you ain't getting back the money that you spent as well, too. Like all that money on Call of Duty, putting Call of Duty on Game Pass, buying Activision. You know what I mean? Your console's tanking off, demanding a 30% profit. All the stuff that was going around because they want to make their money back because they spent so much. Dude, that's not how the industry works. So he says, what is there to be worried about GTA outselling Fable in history? Has there ever been a situation where Fable sold more than any GTA? Well, there was only a couple Fables, dude. And one GTA will launch in that window. But that's, you're kind of missing the point here, because historically, both Rockstar and Xbox have been regurgitating content. These aren't new IPs. They're just the next generation of existing franchises. So what exactly is Xbox worried about? That part I'm super confused about. I can see why I would never get hired as Xbox's new president, because I would be unbothered with all this cool crap that I'm going to be doing. There's nothing wrong with being confident like that if you knew your product was going to do well. But I think Microsoft has to worry because they have to be a strong publisher, and Fable cannot fail. They can't just rely on Forza. State of Decay 3 can't fail. Gears can't fail. Halo really can't fail either, but I mean, I don't know why they're not adding multiplayer to make get millions of more sales easier. So I think he's a little bit off on that. Playground Games has been making racing games for 14 years. Fable was announced in 2020. Now it's being pushed internally. Microsoft shut down a studio that actually knew how to make Fable in 2016. Yeah, they did. Honestly, if true, this makes sense. No one should be stupid enough to release anywhere near GTA 6. I'm not even a big fan of GTA series, and even I'm like, that's Juggernaut. You don't want to F with that. Fable. Well, yeah, exactly. That's kind of like what he's kind of saying. That guy's just not getting the point. So he says, this is how you get missed out of the Game Awards. Or I don't think Fable is going to be Game of the Year contender, and Microsoft's not worried about that, because what you think you're going to get in the way of some of these games coming out? I don't know, man. You're going to have to get 90 plus Metacritic and just blow people off the map. It's going to be very hard for Fable to win Game of the Year. So I don't think that's what they're worried about. What's more worrying is your game failing, not you missing out on Game of the Year. They haven't got that in a long time, even nominated. So your game has to be successful. And that means to launch on PlayStation and PC more than anything, because you need that success. It needs to be ready. So I'm thinking that that delay may possibly be something that could possibly be here. Why would they be worried about GTA when it's not even coming out on PC? Fable is coming out on Game Pass anyway. This dude is missing a point. Dude, we're talking about PlayStation sales. PC sales. What do you mean? In the future? Like, and even then, this is not really about PC, bro. Like I said, this is mainly about PlayStation. And then partially Xbox sales. You're thinking only Xbox and Game Pass? Dude, you think that Fable on Game Pass is going to make Microsoft back the money on Fable? What are you talking about? No, man, this is all about PlayStation. That's going to be the premium spot. So if I'm not going to get attention on Sony's store and GTA is taking over everything, and people are ignoring my game, like Starfield's being ignored, without that even being there, it's like, well, then I'm putting it on Game Pass day one and I'm not getting my sales on Xbox. But GTA is not launching on PC. So why am I worried about GTA? Because you're worried about PlayStation sales. That's common sense. Think about that. So yeah, I want you guys to let me know what you think about this. Leave a comment down below. Do you care that Fable is delayed? Do you think it should be delayed? What do you think about the PlayStation Netflix style store makeover? Leave a comment. Later, y'all. Keep on gaming no matter what platform you're on. You know, at the end of the day, we just hope that Fable is a good game. I beat all three Fables 100%. I love them all. They have to do this right. And this will say a lot about the quality of Playground games. If they can go outside the box of racing and make something great and get the sales and smash the Metacritic charts. They need this. Later.